controversial new law went into effect in Florida this week, coined by opponents as the Don't Say Gay bill. It forbids instruction on sexual orientation and gender identity for kindergarten through third grade. PBS NewsHour correspondent John Yang has more on what lies ahead.
Judy, Governor DeSantis says the law is necessary to protect parents' rights to consent to discussions around sexual orientation and gender identity in the classroom. Here's the governor signing the bill into law on Monday.
I don't care what corporate media outlets say. I don't care what Hollywood says. I don't care what big corporations say. Here I stand. I'm not backing down. And so in Florida, we will make sure that parents can send their kids to school to get an education, not an indoctrination.
But those who oppose the bill say it doesn't protect parents, it only harms children. This is Democrat Chevron Jones, the Florida Senate's first openly gay member.
In my heart, I don't believe any of you in here, my colleagues, many of who I've known for years, I believe that we all want to do right. But it seems as if we have gone down a road to where we're scared to just step out to make sure we're not hurting people.
For more on both sides of this new law that's caused national controversy, Ana Ceballos, a state government reporter from the Miami Herald. Ana, thanks so much for being with us. This has been shorthanded, I think mostly by opponents, as I understand it, as the Don't Say Gay law. Help us out here. What does the law actually say, and what does it actually do?
Sure. This is a very concise bill. It's a 7-page bill, but it has divided not only Floridians, but people across the country because there's different perceptions about what this bill would actually do. But what this bill actually says is it in essence regulates school lessons on gender identity and sexual orientation from kindergarten to third grade or in higher grades if they are not age appropriate according to state standards that are going to be written and clarified by the Florida Department of Education by next June. The Department of Education is led by someone who the DeSantis will appoint or the governor will appoint, whoever gets elected in November. And so this bill has been very divisive because a lot of people think that because it's so broadly written and a lot of it has to be clarified and defined, could target specifically LGBT students and how teachers and trusted adults in classrooms could communicate about certain topics.
And there's also, I understand, provisions about dangerous home situations. What are those provisions say?
Right, so there's provisions that put an emphasis on how schools need to notify parents about services that are changed for their students in terms of things that are impacting their mental health or anything that could potentially be emotional distress, potentially from going through, sexual orientation or gender identity confusion. And so this bill, what it says is that schools cannot implement procedures that would prevent the notification to parents about what the student is going through. And this is seen by many parents as a win who want to be more, who are concerned that maybe schools are taking more of a control by deferring to the student and not the parent. And parents would be allowed to sue the school district if they feel like their rights have been violated because they were not notified enough about what services have changed for their students.
So you say some parents like that, but in general, what are parents and teachers saying about the new law overall?
So there's a lot of concern because of how vague these provisions are and how much needs to be clarified as to what these standards will be and what will be considered age appropriate by the state. A lot of LGBT advocates are concerned that this could potentially lead to outing students, for example, or there's concern that maybe teachers might not know much about the situation at home and who could be facing abuse, neglect, or abandonment because of the information that might be required to be disclosed to a parent. And there are protections in the bill that say that schools don't need to disclose information if it could lead to the harm of a child. But, not everyone knows absolutely everything that is going on. So that is something that some teachers have expressed concern with, saying that, that this could potentially be a chill effect as to the discretion that they might have. But a lot of it remains to be seen.
Some big corporations, as you say, a lot of the regulations have yet to be written. Some big corporations have sort of spoken out against this, as has the White House. But the big corporations, how much of an impact, or is that going to have any effect in Florida, do you think?
Well, we are seeing Disney, which is a very powerful, not only a powerful corporation in the state with Disney World, but it has a lot of influence in the state, and it has historically had a lot of influence over laws that are passed in the state and just in the political arena. And we are seeing a lot of pushback from Disney, saying in a statement just on Monday that this should have never been a law that was passed, signed into law, and that it will do all it can do to support efforts to repeal this. And Ron DeSantis, our governor, has very much doubled down against Disney and said that the corporation is a woke Disney and that they have crossed the line by trying to get involved in what the state does and what policies it should have. So I think we're going to be seeing a pretty high profile and ongoing clash between such a giant like Disney and Republican Governor Ron DeSantis, who definitely is an ambitious governor who might be eyeing a potential 2024 run for the White House.
Anna Ceballos, state government reporter for the Miami Herald. Thank you very much.
Thank you.